Griffith Show. Brought to you by Excedrin PM, the nighttime pain reliever that relieves pain and helps you to sleep.
Thank you all for coming to this special meeting. It's nice of you, and why don't we just turn it over now to Mrs. Gossett?
Oh, well, thank you, Mr. Mayor, dear. Now, many of you will remember my father, the late Henry H. Gossage. Those of you who do recall my father will remember that he was a very civic-minded person. I was very proud of him. Many of you know that I took his name back when I became widowed. Now, when Herbert Hoover was elected, Daddy decided to celebrate, and he put away a bond. That bond has now matured. In Daddy's will, he provided that the sum thus accrued should go to our dear city in the form of a Henry H. Gossage Memorial. This memorial to be a thing of beauty and something useful to the citizenry. And the name Henry H. Gossage to be in letters not less than 5 inches tall.
Just how much does that bond come to now?
$1,500.37.
Fine. Shall we throw the meeting open for discussion as to the nature of the memorial? Any notions?
Well,
Ira?
how about a scholarship for a bright youngster? It'd pay his first year in college.
Yeah, but we can't ask that boy to walk around with Henry H. Gossage written on him in letters 5 inches high.
Those were the terms of his will.
Of course. Yeah, Miss Gaddis.
I have an idea. Suppose we get a life-size wax statue of Henry Gossage with a wick coming out of his hat. We could light it in November, and it would burn all through the Christmas holiday.
Oh, no.
Well, I don't know. I guess we have here a question of taste. Now, let's think for a minute what we're after. We're after something useful and yet something attractive.
Well, in former days, Daddy, of course, had suggested a horse trough in the center of the city. But, of course, times have changed.
Yes. But wait a second, though. Wait a second. What would you think of a water fountain for people? See, that would be useful. We could put it in the park.
With a nice statue behind it and the water coming up around.
And the words in memory of Henry H. Gossage written underneath.
Good.
Oh, well,
I like that.
Shall we put it to a vote?
Yeah.
Aye.
Aye, well, passed and duly noted. Shall we adjourn?
Good.
Fine. That's good.
Daddy would be so proud.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Well, shall we meet back here at 2 o'clock and go to the park and we can pick a spot?
Yes, that'd be fine.
All right. Good. Okay.
Andy, I didn't know Henry Gossage was a Republican.
Do you have enough to eat tonight, honey? Pudding wasn't too dry, was it? Does that mean it was or it wasn't?
Dad? 7 o'clock.
No nickel's worth.
Andy? I heard they're having a sale in Raleigh at Emery's. They've got these artificial fur coats. I mean, you can't tell them from the real ones. And I do need a coat, and they're only $89.95. I could buy it on time. Payments would be very small. Could I? Thank you. got company. It's Mrs. Gossage.
TJ, look at Miss Sawyer. Good evening, Miss Gossage.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor. Mrs. Sawyer.
Now, would you like a cup of hot tea or maybe a little snack?
No, thank you. I had an apple in the car.
Okay. Miss Gossage, you remember TJ? Miss Gossage, TJ.
How do you do, TJ? Could I speak to you a moment? It's about the memorial.
Oh, do you have...
Here. Oh, it's Mrs. Gossage, Nora. I thought I heard an electric car humming.
Hello, Nora.
About the memorial?
When you coming in to see Doctor about that wart?
Well, I thought I'd wait till the holidays.
Have you been playing with frogs?
Don't you have any homework, young man?
I finished.
Well, go read for your book report. No, I'm sorry.
Well, now, don't you apologize. I'm the one who should apologize bursting in on your evening like this, but I just had to get this off my chest.
About the memorial?
Yes, here.
What's this?
Well, that is the $1,500.37.
In cash?
Yes, that is correct. I want you to handle it personally.
But we have a committee.
Well, that's just it, the committee. Maynard is a doddering old fool, and I never could stand that Jacob Maddow. Well, I'd feel so much better if you'd handle it yourself.
Well, I suppose I could get a contract.
Well, I wish you would. I'd rest so much better.
Don't you worry. Andy'll do it. He has wonderful taste. He'll handle it.
Well, then that's settled. I won't have to take up any more of your time.
Oh, all right.
Thank you.
Good night, Mrs. Gossage.
Well, I'll just rest so much better. Knowing...
Ma'am.
Yes, dear?
My glove, ma'am.
I swear, I think I'm losing the use of myself.
You can use it anytime you want.
And you want the fountain right there, kind of close to the center of the park.
Right. What do you think?
Fine, no sweat.
Good. Well, what'll it cost us?
Well, I don't see how I can bring it in for less than $1,800, Mayor.
That's for everything.
No, that doesn't include the statue. Well, that's the name of the game today, Mayor. Labor's high. I pay my plumbers $7 an hour, and that apprentice of mine gets $6.
I'm in the wrong business.
Tell you what, there's a freelance plumbing contractor out on Route 46. He lives in a trailer and works out of it. Coy Webb. He's got no overhead at all. He might be able to bring it in for the money.
Coy Webb?
Route 46. About 2 miles past the curve where Arlo Brand wrecked his pickup in 37.
Well, I wouldn't...
Oh, you wouldn't know, sure. You weren't here then. Remember where the dynamite truck exploded in 41?
No, I don't.
Well, let me see. Do you remember where Petey Walsh jackknifed his semi with a load of Packard 2-doors?
No.
You're making it tough. You know where the intersection of Route 46 runs into Highway 12?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep. Okay.
What?
I think I can make your price.
Including the statue?
Pick one out at Rossi's, but try not to go too steep.
Rossi's?
Rossi's Statuary. It's out on Highway 32.
32. Could you give me a little bit...
Well, do you know where Billy Minder hit that big chicken and lost all his hubcaps back in 32?
Oh, no.
Written up in the news.
Well, you see...
Well, do you know where Mrs. Rook stopped that runaway horse and he bit her back in 52?
You wouldn't just know the address, would you?
Sure. 4000 Highway 32.
Maybe I better go by that.
Make it easy on yourself.
Mr. Rossi said just to look around.
Oh, good. Yeah. Saw one over here. And there are two. One on either side there?
Where are the children?
They were here just a second ago.
Laurie, TJ, get over here.
What about a nice dog?
Well, that doesn't seem quite right.
It's on special, Dad. A dog and water go together real nice.
Well, it doesn't seem to carry the message of Henry H. Gossage somehow.
Too short?
If you like. That's interesting.
Oh, she's so stuck up. Well, she's got a right to be. She's a college grad. I didn't look like that when I got out of med school.
Medical receptionist correspondence course, you mean, don't you? Now, there's Mark Twain.
Who's that?
Oh, he's a famous American author.
We're not up to him yet.
Well, we couldn't use it anyway.
Couldn't you cut his hair and mustache?
I don't think they do alterations. Now, where's Nora? Nora, please.
Oh, for heaven's sakes, I work for a doctor.
1, 2, is it on? Can you hear me? Good afternoon, citizens of Greenwood. May I present the mayor of our city, Mr. Andrew Sawyer. Don't stand too near the microphone, honey.
Good afternoon, citizens of Greenwood. Welcome to our park. We are gathered here for a very auspicious occasion.
What's suspicious about it?
Auspicious.
We're gathered here to honor the memory of one of our foremost citizens. Born in this very town in 1840.
1860.
Excuse me, Miss Gossage, 1860. He went to work in Glover's dry goods store and 5 years later enlisted to fight in the Spanish-American War. On his return home...
The decoration.
Yeah, he was decorated for bravery for allowing himself to be bitten by a live mosquito during the yellow fever experiments.
The mosquito died.
Yeah, so I heard.
Returning to his hometown, he founded his own dry goods business, Gossage's. It was located on what is now known as Fred and Al's Quickie Car Wash. And so, it's my great honor to ask Mrs. Gossage to unveil this beautiful contribution to our city. Gentlemen, lady, ready, Miss Gossage? In memory of Henry H. Gossage, citizen, soldier, retailer.
Maynard, you want to see if that valve's turned on right there?
All right.
I don't want you to get mad.
What?
Well, how could you make a deal for over $1,000 with a man whose place of business is a trailer?
What's wrong with that?
Well, he could do a bad job, like he did, and be gone.
What makes you think he's gone?
Were the wheels off the trailer?
No.
He's gone.
I'm going out there and see.
You remember how to get there?
I'll never forget. It's 6 miles east of where the water came up through the street in 71. Evening.
Howdy.
I'm looking for Coy Webb.
Sure.
You got any idea where I might find him?
Nope. He and the missus must have took off during the night. Kind of funny, too. When they go off on little trips, they ordinarily ask us to keep an eye on the cat.
Didn't do it this time.
Cat's going too. Roland.
Roland?
The cat. Real friendly.
Mr. Webb didn't say a word.
You don't listen, do you?
He didn't say a word.
Now you got it.
But flying off the handle like this isn't going to get us anywhere.
I just wish you hadn't paid him in cash.
Well,
That was dumb, real dumb.
Well, that was my idea. Oh, the humiliation.
I just don't understand it. You'd think at least he'd have waited for the dedication ceremony.
Well, the man didn't have any man.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we appoint a committee to investigate this situation.
just fine. Now, what I'll do...
Mr. Maddow and I will look into it.
Well, fine. Whatever you say.
Over here.
I'll see you Wednesday morning.
All right.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Good. We'll see you.
Bye.
Where'd that come from?
Honey, we talked about it for half an hour on the porch the other night.
We did?
Nice coat.
As I see it, there's your $1,500 on the hoof.
Get it while you can, kid.
What did he mean by that?
I don't know.
Hi, I'm home.
We see you.
Hey, Dad, will you show me the graft?
What?
The graft. Porter Axton said his father said that City Hall is full of it. What is it, Dad?
I'll explain that to you later, darling. You go upstairs and wash those hands.
So, when Doctor looked at Mrs. Claney's x-rays, he was sure he saw a thimble. So he decided he'd better do a tracheotomy. That's when you reach right down into the windpipe with long tweezers or something and remove foreign objects. So he reached right down in the windpipe, and guess what? The thimble wasn't there.
What happened to it?
Well, Mrs. Claney told Doctor she'd eaten a lot of bread crust, like you'd do to force down fish bones. Yeah. So Doctor assumed the thimble just filled up with bread and dropped right down into her stomach.
What, honey? What are you doing home?
Where should I be?
Well, somebody told Verlene, and Verlene told Nora that there was a special meeting tonight at the City Hall to get the fountain business settled once and for all.
You mean you didn't know about it? There is something rocking in the state of Denmark, I can tell you.
And the whole thing is your fault, Ira. You were the one for bringing him down here and making him mayor pro tem.
I thought he'd make a fine mayor. But, well, you just never know.
Why would he do a thing like that? I just don't understand.
Well, you just can't put temptation in a man's path and expect him to resist it.
It's just that get a cheap contractor, pay him a little, and keep the difference deal.
That's the way it is. I'm sure that that's exactly.
Honey, you didn't do anything wrong. You know that. That's all that matters.
Yeah. Matter, keep an eye on that truck. Coy Webb's around here someplace.
Oh, your friend, the fountain guy.
Just keep an eye on the truck. Coy Webb! Coy Webb! Coy Webb!
That's you hollering, Andy?
Yeah, Ira. Coy Webb's around here someplace. Coy Webb! Coy Webb! Coy! Coy Webb! Coy Webb!
Gotcha. Is that him?
Yeah, where have you been? I've been looking for you for days.
I know. My neighbor told me. I went to Nag's Head to do some fishing.
Fishing?
The blues are running. Well, I'm sitting there with my fishing rod and it hit me. I says to my wife, I says, Birdie, I forgot to turn the valve on the T-joint under Oak Street. And that's what I forgot to do. Turn the valve on the T-joint under Oak Street.
Well, did you fix it?
Done and done.
But then how come the fountain isn't...
I'm sorry that pressure relief valve blew. I'll fix the street.
That's great.
Lovely, Violet. Just lovely.
Citizen, soldier, retailer.
I was so embarrassed for suspecting poor Mr. Webb, I must apologize to him for 10 minutes. Then Mrs. Gaddis apologized to me. Then Mr. Maddow apologized to me. And then Mrs. Gaddis and Mr. Maddow apologized to Ira and Mrs. Gossage. We must have been apologizing to one another for half an hour.
I'm sorry about the coat, honey.
No more apologies. Just next time you get a fake fur, get one that looks a little more fakey, huh?
Yeah. You know, every time I think of Mrs. Gaddis and Mr. Maddow suspecting you, I get so upset.
Mrs. Gaddis got pretty upset, too. She came in to see Doctor.
Nora, no medical secrets in front of the children.
Aw, gee, Dad, I love that stuff.
It's no secret. You can see it all over her wrists, and it runs clear up to her chest.
Is that the secret part?
Nora, please.
Well, it's only hives. Emotionally induced.
That's the only thing I hate about living in a small town. Everybody talks so much. All that stuff about the statue, and now Nora giving out all this personal stuff about patients.
That's not so. I'm a true professional. I observe the doctor-patient relationship to the nth degree, and you know it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Nora, what happened to Mrs. Duncan?
Well, she is retaining so much water in her feet. She went from a size 9 AA to a 10.5 C.
Good grief.
Doctor's threatening to call her husband and tell him she's still...
The new Andy Griffith Show, brought to you by Excedrin PM, the nighttime pain reliever that relieves pain and helps you to sleep.